let's see how to find the equation of the line passing through the points -2, 12 and 4, -6. Now, the first thing that you really need to remember is that any line has an equation looking something like this. Y is equal to mx plus p. You may have seen this as y is equal to mx plus c or y is equal to mx plus b. It really doesn't matter what letter you use. To find the line's equation, the first step is always to find the slope. In other words, we have to find the value of m. And we can do this using the slope formula, which I'll write here. M is always equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, looking at our 2 points here, I'm going to call this one x1, y1, and I'll call the second one x2, y2. It's worth pointing out that we could have done it the other way around. It would not change the result. So, using those two coordinates, I can now calculate the slope. And I can write m is equal to -6 minus 12 over 4 minus -2. The numerator then becomes -18, and the denominator turns into 4 plus 2. Remember, when you subtract a negative number, it turns into a positive, or a plus. This leads us to -18 over 6, which finally leads us to -3. So we now know that the slope is equal to 3, which I'm boxing in right now. -3, that was. So by the end of this first step, we can already write y is equal to -3x plus p. In other words, we've rewritten the line equation y is equal to mx plus p and replaced m by its actual value, which is -3. That's our step 1 done. The second step, step 2, is always to find the y-intercept, which we've written here as p. Now, to find the y-intercept, all we really need is one of the 2 points through which we know that the line passes. And remember, in the question, we were told that the line passes through these 2 points, which were -2, 12, and 4, -6. So you pick one of the 2 points. It doesn't matter which one you choose. For argument's sake, I'm just going to choose this first one here, -2, 12. What that point is actually telling us is that when x is equal to -2, y must equal to 12. That point, remember, is a point on the line. So, looking at our line equation, which up until now is y is equal to -3x plus p, we know that when y is equal to 12, which I'm writing here, x has to be equal to -2. So I'm rewriting this line equation, replacing y by 12 and x by -2. This is now an equation for p that we can solve. That leads us to 12 is equal to -3 times -2, which is +6, plus p. Finally, we subtract 6 from each side. 12 minus 6 is equal to p, and I can write it here. P is equal to 6, which I'll box in here. Since we now have the y-intercept, as well as the slope, we can now write this line's full equation. And we can write y is equal to -3x plus 6. And we're done.